you? Yeah, I'm a little tired. Thank you for joining me today. And today, I want to talk about moving on and let go. I know. I've been here before. Many times before, actually. Seems like I haven't learned my lesson. Really. I know it's bizarre that I keep on winding back here over and over again. And here I am again, just dwelling on to what has gone, dwelling on to the past, dwelling on to the things that I've done, quote unquote, wrong. And I'm sitting here in the parking lot and waiting for Mom to shop. She loves shopping this time of the year. This time of the day. And today's Tuesday, so they have senior discount. So she loves to go today. So I decided I'll take her here after work. So been sitting here for about 45 minutes now. But it's no biggie. I don't mind. Whatever make her happy. Funny how earlier I told her, just get whatever you want. Just get whatever you want and I'll reimburse it later. And then all of a sudden she say, yeah, I'll go buy a house. How about that? And I was speechless. It hurt. It felt like a punch in my chest, or someone just jake my junk, just throw a punch right in my face. I felt worthless. Like after all these years, I've never really done anything good for her, and I only bother her and just making her life worse. And I want to do something good for her. But a house? I wish I could. If I could, I would. If I could, I would. And she knows. She knows. It's like I have so many things that I need to deal with. But then I keep on thinking about this girl, thinking about someone who might have never really noticed my existence, and she probably never really think about me in the first place. And I'm just imagining things. It's weird. Yeah, I know it's weird. And then I would think, and then I would tell myself that, only if you could just go ask her, so to get it over with, and then if she say no, then so be it. So you don't have to lingering, you don't have to wondering if things could have been different. But it didn't, so it didn't happen any other way. So, yeah. And then I was working today, and then it got really slow all of a sudden. So I was just sitting in the pedicure chair. I closed my eyes and I just think about life. And I just all of a sudden I just think that all of us All of us humans on Earth, we all have each of our own hourglass. The hourglass that had like sands in it, and it's dripping away, and it's dripping and dripping. And we all have limited amount of sands in it. And hourglass, the sand on top, it will eventually drain all the way to the bottom. And we all have limited amounts of sand on the top. We don't get to flip it over and redo it, because this kind of hourglass, it's just one way. It doesn't flip around. And this is all we have. And whatever amount of sand that you have in that hourglass, that's all you have. Whether you have 40 years worth of sand, or 20 years, or 10 years, or 60 years, or 80 years, whatever you have, you don't know. You don't know that amount of sand in that hourglass, but you only get to see the amount at the bottom. Isn't that tricky? Just like life, you don't know when your time's gonna run out, so you don't get to see the top half of that hourglass. And it's like we're living our life. Not we, but me. I'm living my life like I have a lot of sand left in my hourglass. I don't know. But one thing I know for sure, it's gonna run out someday. One day it's gonna run out. It might be tomorrow. It might be a week from now. It might be 2 weeks from now. Then why? Why am I wasting my time thinking about something that I no longer have control over? Why am I wasting my time keep on thinking about what should have done, what could have been, and then I let the thing that went wrong get the best of me and ruin my behaviors and then I would blame it for the reason why I'm falling off track. I would blame those things and then say that they are the reason why I stopped going to the gym. I stopped eating right. I stopped getting up early. I stopped working on my podcast, my investment, my side gigs. And then I would blame, and then I would blame, and then I would blame. But why don't I take a good look at myself and really think that I should stop wasting my time on the things that don't matter. Stop wasting my time on the things that would not get me to where I want in life. Maybe she is someone that is supposed to be in my life, so I could learn how not to be a pussy. Someone that would show me not to be passive and just go for it. Just fucking go for it. If you want it, you go for it. Maybe she's that one person that was meant to be in my life, not to stay. She's not the person that meant to be in my life to stay, but she came just to teach me the least lesson. To just go for it. Why not just go for it? If you can. Because if I want her, I'm not gonna get her by being passive and being a little pussy and just tiptoes in and tiptoes and then too afraid of telling her she's pretty and too afraid of her, too afraid of telling her how pretty she is and how much you like her. If you want her, you go for it. You go for her. If you want love, you better go for it. If not, you never get it by being passive. And that's what I've been doing all my life. Fuck. Well, not all my life, you know. It's like when now it's come all the way back to Melly. You know, when I first met Melly, I did plan it all out. I knew her before then. You know, I knew her from social media, but we never talked. And the first time I met her, I remember I was in the backyard, and she was in my house. I was in the backyard. I heard my sister say, "There's this pretty girl that came in our house. Why don't you come in and say hi?" And I was standing there in the backyard. You know, I was standing there for like 10-15 minutes, trying to gather out, you know, trying to find the courage. It was like 5 minutes courage, or even 1 minute courage. I was going back and forth, and telling myself, just fucking do it. So I went in there. This living room, you know, we have a tiny living room, and there's the sofas, and then there's a little bed in the middle of the room, and there goes her parents, my sisters, my brother-in-law. It was a lot of people in that living room. And then I went in, and I saw her sitting on that bed by herself, and everyone was sitting on the sofa or sitting on the grounds, and like it was a lot of people. And I was like, fuck, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You know, I thought it was just gonna be her and her parent here. You know, it would have been easier because, you know, there's not a lot of people around. But fuck, shit, I was standing there. I walk in the living room, and then I look around. Holy fuck, everyone's here. Like, everyone is in the living room. We were talking like, I'm talking like 9, 10, 12, 13 people. I don't know. It was a lot of people. And I walk in, and I was like, fuck. You either shut your mouth and be a pussy and just not do anything. And lose your chance. Or you fucking go there and sit down and sit next to her and say hi. And you know what the fuck I did? For some reason, I had all the courage in the world. All the courage that I couldn't even imagine I had. I went there, I stand right in front of her. I was like, hi. What's your name? Holy fuck. It was smooth like a motherfucker. I went there, I sit down next to her. I asked her name, and I told her mine. Holy shit, it was smooth. And then we started talking in the middle of the room. Everyone was around. Oh my god, like, how the fuck did I do that? And then we started talking and talking. And then we dated like a year and a half or something. And then once in a while I would and then I would hear her and her friend or whoever, ask her, how do you guys met? And she would tell them like, oh yeah, like I was in the middle of the room, and then Tin came and he talked to me, and then like she just loved that confidence that I had at the time, and I was a completely pussy, but it was the only time that I had the confidence to do it, and it was crazy. And I guess girls, they love that, someone who can stand up for themselves and man up and have some confidence in themselves. That's what I needed. That's what I needed on Monday. No, not Monday. It's fucking yesterday. Holy fuck. It was yesterday? Fuck. I feel like it's been forever. But yeah. Maybe this is what I needed to hear. Maybe I should just fucking go for it next time I see her. Even though she's likely gonna say no. Even though she's likely gonna reject me. But at least I'll know. At least I'll know that she's not interested. So I can just move on. And live my life. So I can just grow old one day and look back and say, yeah, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I asked her so I knew the answer. Because I would rather know the answer then than growing old and not knowing the answer at all. And wondering things could have been different. Right? Right? I know. So let it go. If she's not here right now, if she's not gonna come in for another 3 weeks, let it go. Let all of it go. I have no control over it. Worry about it once she's back. Once she's come back in. But now she's out of your reach. And nothing you can do about it. So stop wasting your time doing things that it's pushing you back. Doing things that pulling you back from where you want to be. From the person you want to become. Right? And maybe everything's happened for a reason. Maybe the things that happened, the things that went wrong yesterday, was meant to be, so I can learn, so I could grow up and stop being a pussy. Maybe that's what needed to happen. Maybe I just needed to look at it from a different perspective. Right? Maybe. Thank you for listening, and I hope I'll see you on the next one.